Good afternoon. My name is Wilfredo Mosquera. In this opportunity, I'm going to share you some materials according to development in language stage. The idea is to make a reflection in two questions. The first question is, what would English language learning ELT material have? And the second question is proposal for a principal approach to the development of ELT materials. Learning is normally considered to be a constant process with consistent commitment of memory of information relevant to what is being learned, which should direct of the learning of, for example, spelling rollers, convention of greeting, of vocabularies it can be useful to be language learning. It's agreeable that language learning consists of observing for development of generalism about how the language use of the both conscious and subconscious development skills and strategies which apply this general act of communication. In this occasion, it is important that you understand that material is so important in classes because you want to apply some methodologies, but if you apply the methodology and these don't use according to material, the class is not so successful. Okay? In this exposition, the idea is to expose characteristics for good language techniques materials. According to Linson, material should be achieved in part, help learning feel and at ease or easy, help learners to develop confused, be relevant and useful to students, require and facilitate learning, self-insight, and another characteristics have to in mind according to materials. Example, material should achieve impact. When material should achieve impact, have to notify effect of learning. Material can be impact through novelty, variety, attractive presentation, appealing content, and choice of topics, tests, and activities, achievement of impact in this moment. Material should be learning to feel at easy. Feel more comfortable with writing material with lots of white space than they do this material in which laws on different activities are crafted together on the same page. Another example can be are more to ease with text and illustration that they can relate to their own culture and they are with tools choose appear to them to be culturally aligned. Okay. This is important to have in mind. The material should help learn to develop confidence. I understand that the language technique material development, the basic principle of ESLI relevant to the development of material of the teaching of language. Okay, the relation of the self-confidence learning factor according to July Born or capturing intelligence. Okay. Then, to attempt to build confidence through activity, we try to push, learn, and sliding beyond their assigned provincial by stage them in tax which another simulation with our problematic path, which are achievement or achievable too. It can help in the activity and children learn to use and develop their assigned extra linguistic skill. Another question is, what is the being taught should be perceived by the learners as relevant, as useful. In Spanish, for a specific purpose, material is relevant, it's easy to combine the learning that is the teaching points and relevant and useful by relating them or the now learning interests and real life stacks with the learning needs or might need to perform and target language. In general, material is in this obviously more difficult, but this can be achieved in narrating the target, read chip, or the reason, what is the target learn in the interesting and the what is they really want to learn the language for. Okay, the material should require and facilitate learning self-investment. What is the idea? To take in month or taking in a month, the idea is to get learning is interesting in writing or spoken text, to get them to respond or they globally and effectively them and to help them and analyze a particular linguistic feature of it. Other item is involved in the learning in many projects or involving learnings in finding supplementary material for particular unit in a book. Learning must be really ready to acquire the points being taught. The most important lesson for material developers from reading next reach is that we can expect to select a particular point to teaching or assuming that it all learning is already and willing to learn it. It's important to remember that the learning is always in choice and that in the final analysis we can never comply the control what the learner does. Material should expose the learning to language in authentic use. Material can provide exposures to authentic input through the advice they give, the instruction for their activities, and the spoken and writing text they include. They can also similarly explore to authentic input through the activities they subject, sample, interview to the teacher, doing a project in the local community, listening to the radio, and so on. The learner's attention should be drawn to linguistic feature of the input. It's a different from previous grammar techniques approach in a number of ways. In this first place, the attention paid to the language can be either conscious or subconscious. For example, the learner may be paying conscious attention to working out the attitude of the ones chattering in a history, but may be paying conscious attention to the second conditional with the character use. Or they might be pay conscious attention to the second conditional, have in mind asking to ask to locate them and to make generalization about their function in the history and different aspects too. Materials, another point is to materials that shall be provide the learning with opportunity to use the target language to achieve communicative processes. What is the idea in this material? What this material? The idea is to make interaction can be achieved through, for example, information opinion gap, activity with require learning to communicate with each other and the teacher in order to close the gap. Is one example. Finding out what food and drink people would like to on a class party. Another example too, like post listening and post reading activity with required and learning to use information, and so on. Material should be taken into account that learning differ in learning styles. This topic is very important for our labor in your job, in my job, in my school with learner, because the learning style is different. Learning have different preferred learning styles. For example, those learning with preferences for study learning are much more likely to gain from explicit grammar teaching. But you can use, for example, the visual learning, oral learner, kinesthetic learning, and it's a different situation there. Materials should take into account that learning differing in affective attitude. This is another point. Ways of doing this include probing choice of different types of texts, probing choice of different types of activities, or probing of optional extras for the more positive and motivated learning provided by the team. Include unity and the development of the learning English and a topic for discussion. The material should permit a silent period at the beginning of instruction. The important is, okay, start the core with a total physical response, TPR, approach with the learning responsibly physical to oral instruction from a teacher or CD. Other point is, start with the listening comprehension approach with the learning listen to stories and the target language, which are made accessible try the use of the sound effect, visual, eye, and dramatic movement by the teacher. And another activity like permitting the learning to respond to target language question by using the first language or try drawings or Japsuris and so on. Material shall not really too much on controlled practice. Is pay attention. In this point this is a special true of dialogue practice, which have been popular in main methodology for the last 30 years without there being any substantial research evidence to support it. Material should be provide opportunity for outcome feedback. Learning how file to achieve a particular community purpose. Example, borrowing something, instruction someone to play a game, make sure that language production activity have intent, outcome, other jobs and practice in the language. Material is so important for your develop your classes. For that reason, you have to identify what is the according or the subtle material you're going to use that and pay attention because the classes is successful, it depends the material and the method or the methodology you're going to apply that. Thank you so much. See you next opportunity.